So the question is, how do you not let a bad shot or a bad hole affect you on the next hole? Now the answer to that is actually very simple, and I'll explain by way of analogy. If you flip a coin 10 times in a row and it comes up heads all 10 times, the question is, what are the odds that the 11th flip is going to come up heads? The answer is, it's 50-50. The previous 10 flips of the coin have zero impact over the 11th flip. Well, the same thing holds true to disc golf. What just happened in the past has zero physical relevance to whether or not you make a good shot. Now, mentally, if you have a hard time getting over it, it could affect your next throw. But that's not the shot that's affecting your next throw. That's poor mental game that's affecting your next throw. So, the first thing you need to do is you have to understand that you don't play a round of disc golf. The only thing you do is the next shot in front of you. Okay? You have a series of challenges. You have to come up with a strategy. You have something you must do physically with the disc that you're trying to execute the way you want to, but all you have is the next shot in front of you. It's only after the round is done that you look back the last 3 hours, put it all together, have a composite score to compare to other people's composite scores for all of their individual shots. So you have to look at the game as a series of individual challenges to be overcome, independent of what happened before or after. By the way, the same thing applies to what am I going to do on the next hole? Well, that's irrelevant if that's not the shot in front of you. All that matters is that. Now, one of the ways to do this, so now I say that's simple. Simple doesn't mean easy, right? The way I like to approach this is by setting realistic expectations for the round. For example, if you have expectations to never miss a putt, it's going to be pretty frustrating when you miss a putt. But if you don't, if you have expectations to hit most of your putts, well then when you don't hit a putt, that's expected. Why would you get upset because you didn't hit a putt? If you expect you're going to throw 72 drives in a round, if you expect that probably half dozen of those are going to be pretty far off the fairway, or going to hit an early tree, and that'll be a pretty good round if it happens 6 times out of 72, well then when it does happen, you're not going to get upset. That's just one of those 6 times. It'd be like an NBA player getting upset because they missed 3 out of 10 of their free throws, even though they're a 70% free throw shooter, right? A 70% free throw shooter is going to expect to miss 3 out of 10. It's not going to affect them mentally when they do, or rather, it shouldn't. Now, the second thing that's going to happen, or I believe should happen, is you have to recognize the fact, this is going to sound so counterintuitive, but you do not have control over the outcome of a single shot, right? Doesn't sound right, does it? But it's actually completely accurate. If you had control over your shots, that would mean every time you threw a bad shot, it was on purpose. Clearly, that's not the case, right? You don't have control over the shot. All you have control over is probabilities. I'm making another video all about this in detail. But basically, if you step up to a shot and the probabilities dictate based on your skill level, experience, condition, disc selection, situation, how much you ate for breakfast, how distracted you are by what's going on at work last week, put all those things together. If your probabilities are 60% chance of throwing this drive in the circle, when you step up to that tee pad, you have zero control, literally zero, over whether or not you throw that disc in the circle. All you can do is do everything you know is correct, release the disc, and about 6 out of 10 times it's going to land in the circle. But when you realize that you don't actually have control, it's called the illusion of control, by the way, Google it, it's a great concept. But if you let go of the illusion of control, realize that you're dealing with probabilities, then that takes all the stress off. You know, there's no reason to get upset because probabilities dictate you're going to have X number of crappy holes this year. So why would the hole after it have any effect on you whatsoever, since you know that you're going to have those? So that's the biggest thing. Stay in the moment, focus on the next shot, realize that nothing else has an effect on you, and also let go a little bit of that control. And then you step up, go through the motions, do all the things you've worked for and trained for and practiced for, and it'll succeed at the ratio that probabilities dictate. That's all you can do.